AskReddit, what's the creepiest thing you've ever seen on Reddit? Someone posted on a local sub with a very zoomed in, cropped picture of a door, where someone was standing in front of the door in the picture, but all you could see was the top part of the door and the apartment number. They asked if anyone could tell from the picture what apartment complex that was. A friend contacted the moderator who took down the post, because it was clearly most likely a stalker trying to figure out where the girl in the pic lived. Not only was the post creepy, but it was scary that people had replied with names of apartment complexes that had doors like that. There was a post a while back about two guys off-roading in a truck somewhere Oregon. When they came upon a clearing with an oversized orange picnic table, they hopped out to explore, found a tent and decided to check it out to see if anyone was home. What they did find was a campsite littered with women's clothing and a bunch of backpacks. They decided to get out of there when a car arrived at the site and tried to block their exit. Inside the car, OP thought he saw two people up front and someone stretched out in the back. They called the cops to investigate, but by the time anyone showed up the camp had been taken down and all the clothing and backpacks removed. It made me think about what might be going down in some peaceful bit of woods just outside town, where people we know are going for hikes and bike rides and whatnot, all without really knowing who else might be out there and what they are up to. The world's a crazy place. A popular YouTuber has a very large fan base dedicated to him, and one fan was able to find out where said YouTuber lives using the skyline from his videos and the 3D option in Google Maps. The YouTuber has already moved several times because of bothersome fans, and the fact that this kind of thing is possible is a pretty unnerving. The crazy stalker that was following Chloe Grace Moritz. The creepiest implies he simply left his flash on and the whole thing was awkward mistake. Then another Redditor pointed out OP was a total stalker, pointing to this creepy ass gem in his comment history. Waited outside her hotel for 46 hours straight for this opportunity. Worth it. Scary stuff. There was a woman who made a post on, I think, our relationships, who said she found some information that her boyfriend may not be who he says. She said there was evidence of him having a different name and none of his background checks out. She calls him and he tells her to come home immediately and to not talk about it with anyone. I think she was debating what to do about that and posted for advice. After a few small updates, I think she said she was going to talk to him about it. She never posted back. The post was, what is something you've seen that no one will ever believe, and someone commented this with a throwaway account. I was having a surgery in a small doctor's office, and I had already put on the surgical gown and was on the bed table waiting to start. And this old woman, who was either the nurse or the surgeon, was making friendly conversation about to start the anesthesia process. She explained to me that she wanted me to count back from 10 and before she got to 1 I would be asleep. She stuck me and hooked me up to the medicine. As I started counting back, she then says, I'm going to play with that little pussy, and you're not going to know it ever happened. I remember going, what, and then I was out. Still haunts me to this day. Earlier this week in an AskReddit thread, someone linked to a weird sub of unlocked surveillance cameras. I started poking around and it was sort of weird, until I saw a girl sitting on her couch, completely unaware that hordes or redditors were currently spying on her. I noped out of there as fast as I could. I still feel weird about it, especially since I have a security cam currently watching me type this. There was a post where a guy was out hiking, took a picture of his friends, and unknowingly in the background of that picture captured an image of a girl that had fallen off of a cliff days earlier and had been laying there dying since. Happy people in front, lonely agony in back, and they didn't even notice. From what I recall, they did eventually see her and she was rescued. Hopefully someone knows how to find the link. I stumbled upon Minnesota and found this video. It's recorded 911 calls of the aptly named Weepy Voice Killer. He would murder someone and call in to report where the body was. This continues and you can hear the desperateness grow as the years went by. Definitely had me jilted for a while. The guy who got knocked out in a fight and lived 10 years while unconscious for a few seconds. He met a girl, married, had kids, and then discovered a lamp that didn't look right. And when he stared at it long enough, it crashed reality and he woke up. It makes me wonder if terrible things that happened in the past are still happening and I haven't woken up yet. I'm not sure what sub it was, but there was a thread where Op and Reddit tried to figure out if a homeless man was in Op's house, after he or she took many pictures of her house at night after hearing a noise. After a while they found out that after going through the pictures there was a homeless guy in the house and he was in corner as Op was around taking pictures. Whether it's real or not I have no clue, but if it was that would be hella creepy. This one guy said when he was Snapchatting his birds, one of his friends had told him that there was someone looking through the window at him. He then records a video of him going through his house and then posts it on Reddit. Someone takes the video and makes it brighter, and at one point when the guy is walking through his house, he walks past a really dark corner. Well, when the Redditor brightened up the video and in that dark corner you can see that someone was standing there. Later in the video he walks past the same corner but the figure isn't there. I was suicidal and posting a lot about suicide on Reddit 6 years ago and was about to go to a shooting range to commit suicide when cops showed up at the house and told me a British Redditor had called them and sent them links to my posts. They proceeded to take me to a psyche ward for a week. I find it creepy that the guy was able to track me down so easily with little information posted at the time. Read this story about surviving a zombie apocalypse in a bunker. Very descriptive about the bunker and the way it was falling apart. How the pool had gone rancid, the way rats kept getting in, etc. It was all from the perspective of one person. At the end other people unlock the bunker and come in only to getting attacked and eaten by the person whose perspective we have been seeing. Turns out he was a zombie just locked in waiting to break out and restart the whole outbreak. It was creepy because you got kind of invested in the character and then bam, spoiler ahead, he's a zombie all along. Except he's sentient and fast. I wish I could find a link but I have no idea how to search for it or where it was posted, but this woman used a sleep monitoring app on her phone while she slept. She lived alone except for her young son. One night, her son had a nightmare and was sleeping with the woman. The sleep monitoring app was picking up some clicking noises that night, and eventually it recorded her say, "What are you doing?" And an adult male voice responded something along the lines of, "Nothing, they're here." The audio was really haunting. People were advising her to make sure to lock all of her windows and change the locks on her doors. I used to browse our Topments Reddit, which is a sub dedicated to pointing out the more absurd posts on our conspiracy, and promptly making fun of them. They have a rule about never posting in the actual conspiracy threads. Well, I violated that rule, and like a jerk, poked fun and holes at one person's theory in the conspiracy thread. He promptly replied back to me in a PM with a fair amount of my personal information, including name, city, state, and home address. Needless to say, apologies flew from my fingertips to the keyboard at light speed, and I deleted that account. Thankfully a lot has changed since then regarding my personal info, although I'm sure if they wanted to they could find me again. Also needless to say, I have avoided top minds and conspiracy like the plague ever since. I don't want any trouble and I learned a very valuable lesson.